Okay, well, I kind of already told you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. And it's literally a topic that everybody has been talking about all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over YouTube, everywhere. And it has to do with our president of the United States of America.
Let's get into it.
No. Wait, it looks like there's a shadow at the edge. It's okay. Um, but yes. So the reason why I bring up the president of the United States of America, I don't know if you know, but the Epstein files are about to come out. So these Epstein files, they are going to be released by this month in December on the 19th. Okay. And Donald Trump signed a bill to now they have to legally release the files.
What does that mean?
Well, what do you mean?
Legally.
Like, they can't hold back no more. Now they have to
Okay,
actually
okay.
release them. And so now, once they are released, there's a lot of things that they can't, like, what's it called? No, it's called what's the word?
Censor.
Yeah, but redact.
Mm.
There's a lot of things that they cannot redact, and if they do, they have to present a summary to Congress. The what was it called? The DOJ. Okay, they have to present a summary to the Congress, stating all the things that they redacted from the files and anything that they're holding, like any information that they're holding. They're only able to redact information like personal information or things that are right now in a federal investigation. So those are the only things that they can take off or redact. Okay? But they already released a few things recently. I don't know if you know, but they released like emails of Epstein and him and other people, right? And it gets crazy because there's a lot of emails that involves Donald Trump and a lot of other people, but a lot of information that we have already knew, but now it's kind of proof, quote unquote, not really, but like it's a proof to that it wasn't just like our thoughts or other people's thoughts. It's also Epstein and what he was trying to do and all this stuff. So it's a lot of information. And I don't know if it's confusing right now. But we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about the Epstein files. They're not going to be released yet. This is going to be part one, where I'm going to talk about Donald Trump and how he's been involved in this whole situation, and a little bit of a summary of Epstein and what he has done and why he's so talked about right now. And then also, we're going to talk a little bit about, or kind of pretty much a big part of this story is Virginia Giuffre or Giuffre. A lot of people have pronounced her name differently. But yes, so we're going to talk about her, and she's one of the victims. One of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. She's one of the girls that he sex trafficked. So, yeah. And she's the one that passed away this year, not too long ago, because of suicide. So, but we'll get into it, and we'll talk about everything. And like I said, this will be part one. And part two, we'll talk about the Epstein files when they come out in December 19th. And yeah, I'm going to read them and we're going to get into that. Okay? Viewer and listener discretion is advised. This episode contains discussion of sensitive topics that may be distressing for some audiences. Please take care while listening, and if these topics are triggering for you, we encourage you to prioritize your well-being. Welcome to Tea
and E
with the Tea. I'm your host, Teresa.
I'm your co-host, Edwin.
And in this podcast, we talk about true crime. So if you're interested in true crime, please subscribe, like, and comment.
And if you like what you hear, what you see, check out our other episodes. And let's get on to it.
So I kind of already talked about the DOJ. You know what the DOJ stands for?
No.
Department of Justice.
Oh. Wow, I thought it was going to be like some... DOJ sounds like JF Kennedy or something like that. I don't know. It sounds like a president. You know how some presidents sign laws or organizations into act and put presidents' names on them?
I guess.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah, so it's the DOJ, right? So, like I said, in this November of this year, Trump signed a bill to release the Epstein files, right? These files are going to be released December 19th by the DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
So when they release these files, they're only allowed to withhold personal information in active federal investigation.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
The DOJ is required to report to Congress a summary of anything redacted or withheld from those documents.
Congress would be Democrats and Republicans in the House, right?
Yeah, the Congress overall. Everybody. Okay. And then some documents have already been released, but a lot of the documents that they've released are redacted. So there's a lot of information that we don't know yet. So hopefully when they release these files in December of 19th of December, then those files that are redacted will be released in those in that, time, and they won't be redacted.
Wait, weren't they already? Congress already knew about it since they were redacted. The redaction process.
Before this whole bill passed, there was not because the bill that Trump signed, it states that if they're going to redact anything from the documents or from the files, it needs to be reported to Congress.
Oh, so that's new.
Yes. So it's something new because before it wasn't a bill. They were just releasing things and whatever. And now it's like, okay, now we're going to sign this bill to make sure that we do release these files. And then that any information that is redacted, there's a summary of what was taken out.
Sounds like he's not scared.
Crazy, because there's a lot of information about him right there.
Let's see it, because we were talking about this, and I think a lot of it is just trying to attack Donald.
It is. You gotta understand, like, the reason why a lot of people are more paying attention to Donald Trump in these files, or at least like wanting to know more information and seeing if he's in these files, because he is the president of the United States of America. You know what I mean? And this situation is very, very, very serious. Yeah. And this has to do with sex trafficking. Yeah, so if he's involved in these type of situations, then it's like, it makes him look bad in a way. Not in a way, but it makes him look bad because he was involved in some sex trafficking acts.
Do you think...
Allegedly. This situation is underage women, underage girls.
Oh, okay.
This is not just girls that are like 20 years old. These are girls that are 14, 13,
yeah,
16
I don't know
years
about
old.
that one.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Some people get obsessed. Like, it's just the most weirdest obsession.
You think the vulnerability aspect of it?
I think it's just the vulnerability and the innocence. I think it's just all of that attracts them, which is weird. I don't know. It's the most weirdest thing ever, but that's the situation, right? And we'll talk about it. Okay, so when the files were released in November, in November of this year, there was like this whole drive that they released. And in this drive, it was one of the hardest drives I could ever read, like a folder. Okay, so it's like what is it called? Folder drive? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
It's like a Google Drive. Okay. So a Google Drive. Yeah. So when they released this Google Drive, basically this Google Drive had so much information, you were lost in everything because you just don't know where to start. It's like
how many gigabytes or pages or...
So there was about 20,000, over 20,000 pages around there. Mm.
20,000
Yes.
pages?
Yes. So, and that's including emails. That's including the court documents. It's including a lot of things, but it's mostly emails that have been released. And thankfully, there was people out there that created this whole system or whole link where you can read the emails like if you were in his actual Gmail account.
That's
So they
pretty cool.
call it a Jmail. So they created Jmail so you were able to read the emails like if you were reading your emails,
Mhm.
right? So yeah,
And what were the emails mostly all about?
that's what we're gonna talk about that. What could be in this file that everybody is wanting to be released, right? Well,
Everyone.
so this file could have a lot of information, like as in court dates that have been redacted. Possibly it could not be redacted in this file, right? Meaning that it can have names of people that they haven't announced yet, like wealthy big people. You know what I mean? It could have more flight logs. It could have people that are involved. It could have more emails. It could have videos, photos, contact information. It could have so many things, right? Basically, Epstein's whole entire life and what he did during this sex
They're able
trafficking
to
thing.
release the names of the people that went into the island and everything.
They're not able to redact any names unless it's a federal investigation. If they're involved in a federal investigation, then definitely not. But if it's just normal, if they're just in the files, they're not able to redact it.
So they shouldn't redact. So they're gonna redact Donald Trump's name too then.
No, because he's not in a federal investigation. He's
No,
not
but
under
like
investigation.
you said, oh okay.
Yeah, he's not under investigation.
No, I'm
Like they're
saying
not
any
looking
regular
into.
person. They can literally release anybody's name.
Yes, anybody's.
Thing.
That's why people are like, "Oh my god, I can't wait." Like
So like a
hopefully,
bunch of
you know,
people's
because they could be like, "Oh yeah, I
reputations gonna be
released it
broken.
all." Yeah. They could say like, "Oh yeah, I released it all," but then held like a few files onto the side. And
And the only purpose why somebody would be on that island would be for sex trafficking.
not necessarily. So they could be involved, they could not be involved because that wasn't the. Yes, it was the gist of the island and everything, but there was a lot of like people that went that did not do anything. Well, I mean, as far as we know, because there was events going on or there was certain things, but not necessarily. It doesn't mean that they were involved in sex trafficking, but we're not 100% sure because we weren't there, right?
Yeah.
But there has been like the victims has released a few people that they had had sexual relationships with that were sex
How
trafficked
did
too.
they know besides the victims themselves? What other proof did they have besides the victims?
What do you mean? Who's they?
The people convicting what was done in the islands?
So, for example, Prince Andrew. Prince
Mm-hmm.
Andrew was one of the ones that people were stating that was involved in the sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is a picture of him with Virginia, and so is Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay? And so that picture, I don't have it with me because I didn't prepared to talk about this. But that picture is very awkward and weird because he's literally so say you're Virginia, right? I'm Prince Andrew. I'm gonna hold you from your waist right here and we're gonna hold together like this. Right? So keep in mind, Virginia is a 16-year-old, 15, 16. She's somewhere around that age, right?
When the picture was
17.
taken.
when they're, yeah. So, and the awkward thing is that we already know that Ghislaine Maxwell was doing all this stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
So Ghislaine Maxwell was in that picture
How do we know that she was doing those
because
things?
she went to jail. She's in jail right now for it,
Oh, for sex trafficking, girl.
for the prostitution.
Yeah.
She's in jail. So we know for sure she has something to do with it. So do we know that? I mean, we also know that um what's his name? Epstein had something to do with it. Epstein was the big person. Um because he did go to jail. He just ended up ending his life, but yeah. So there's evidence as to there could have been, or Andrew could have, Prince Andrew could be involved. There's also more evidence that he could be involved because just recently in October of this year, his title was taken away from him. And she stated before in her memoir that she's had sexual relationships with Prince Andrew. Like she was sex trafficked to Prince Andrew. So, and there's a lot of things that came out that Prince Andrew was with a bunch of naked girls in the beach or whatever. Like, yeah, no. She wasn't taking a picture with him because he was famous.
There's a lot of little questions. Well, it's gonna be a long episode if I ask them.
Yeah. And let's continue. So yeah, so that's what could be in the files, right? So now we're gonna talk about Epstein. Who is Epstein? Right? We kind of already did a little bit of an episode of him. Okay, so we did like what, 2 episodes of him? Can you
I
move
think we
your
did.
arm? I love
You
you.
could ask me. Gosh.
It's because I'm sorry, but you were like this, and then you have your hair, and then
Yeah.
I can hear it in my ear.
Yeah. You didn't tell me
And
anything,
I
so I
was
was
like,
like,
but I was trying to show you, like move, like, but
maybe I thought you were trying to
you were
get.
following me
I
with
thought you
my
were trying to get
movement.
comfortable. I was like,
No,
"Oh, you good, bro? You need a pillow?"
no, I'm trying to get you to understand. But yeah, so who is Epstein? So I don't know if you remember a little bit about him and what we talked about in our past episodes, because I know we have 2 episodes about him. Do you remember? So Epstein was a financier, financier,
Financier, financial,
financier.
financier. Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It ends with the ER.
Well, we're gonna say financier,
Anyways, it's a person that basically manages a lot of money for wealthy
financer,
people. Financier.
financer. I think it's financer.
Whatever. He basically manages and invests a lot of, like, a large amount of money for those wealthy people.
It makes sense why he made a lot of money.
Yeah, because he would steal from them. A scammer. That's what he would
Did he
do.
actually?
Yes. Do you not remember the story back in the days? I mean, back in the days.
No, I
In
don't.
the previous episodes.
No, I don't. Actually.
Yes. So he was a scammer. He would steal money from them, but that's what his job was. He was a financier. How do you say it?
Finan-
I'm sorry.
Ow!
How do you say it?
Financer.
Financer. It's
Financer.
because it has an I.
Financier.
Financier. I'm pretty sure I spelled it correctly. Anyways, continue. So, but on on the side, his hobby, I guess, was sex trafficking. So he would sex traffic these underage young girls to wealthy and powerful to his wealthy and powerful friends. That's what he would do on the side, right? And so then he ended up serving 13 months in 2008 for soliciting prostitution from a minor. So basically, paying somebody to have sexual relationships.
13 months.
He only served 13 months.
That's crazy.
But in those 13 months, he served all the 13 months, but he had, what's it called? Work release.
Oh yeah.
6 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Eh.
So technically, he was only in jail full time for 1 day out of the week. Like, what the freak?
That's
Like, that was his
crazy.
hotel. That's so dumb. But, anyways,
Mm.
so yeah, so he served those 13 months in 2008, and then he was released. And then he was rearrested in 2019 for running a sex trafficking network.
Scandal.
Yeah. And then eventually dies in jail on August 2019 because of suicide, because he hung himself. Yeah. But there's a lot of like people stating that it's just suspicious. Sorry. I'm trying to burp, but not burp at the same time. That is suspicious on how he passed or how he died. Because it's like, it didn't seem that he would want to commit suicide. Why would he want to commit? And the way he did it, it's just all odd to many people. So
I
they
think it's because he
suspect.
didn't get 12 hours anymore.
So they suspect that possibly, allegedly, somebody could have hired to kill him. That's the gist of Epstein and who he is. A little bit of a summary. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the whole thing because, like, I feel like a lot of people already know what's going on with Epstein because he's been a topic for like a very long time. But that's the gist of what went down, right? But back to the files. So a lot of people question, like I said, Epstein's death and also Virginia's death, and then how Ghislaine Maxwell is now being treated in jail, which is mind blowing because it's happening the same thing that happened to Epstein, where he got those 13 months and he's getting like work release and all this stuff. Ghislaine Maxwell is getting the same thing right now.
Oh, the
We'll
the
talk about it.
release. That's
We'll talk
crazy.
about it.
And there's new news.
This just recently happened, and I'll talk about why people think like why they gave her that freedom, and I'll let you know. But anyways, there's also questions on how many times Donald Trump is in these files. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard, but there's so much information that has been talked about that involves Donald Trump and Epstein.
Mm.
There's a lot of pictures out there.
They want to take him down.
There's a lot of pictures out there that shows Epstein with Donald Trump, or videos that shows Epstein with Donald Trump, or like messages and stuff like that, which is crazy. But
Imagine you get canceled and your video gets dropped because you're talking about Trump.
that'd be crazy. We'll know who did it. Sorry. But
That does
I'm
not
not
mean that he
saying
did it because
no.
they take your video down. Oh,
Who you think? Who else would be like, oh yeah, let me take this video down?
this is just, I don't know. I don't know. It's because I don't know.
I mean, I'm not trying
It's a
to
lot
be
of reasons. It's
biased.
like
I'm not trying to be biased or anything. I'm not trying to say he did all this stuff. Like, that's one thing that I do want to state is like I'm just reading the information that I found. I'm reading the information that people has been stating.
so these aren't your
So
words and
these
thoughts.
yes, so these are just like not even my opinion because I'm not really stating my opinion. These are just information that I found, and just uh I'm the messenger. You know what I mean? so don't sh-
Allegedly.
so don't shoot the messenger now. I'm not saying anything. I do not want to state that Donald Trump did
What
this
did
or
you
was
just say?
involved. What?
You said what about Donald Trump?
I do not want to say that he's involved in this sex trafficking. He could be, he could not be, but there's just a lot of information that kind of makes him look bad in everybody's eyes, to be honest. But well, my eyes at
He's
least.
already looking bad in everybody's eyes.
Yeah, there's just a lot. Anyways, um, I don't want to get canceled. Okay. Okay, so Virginia Giuffre. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, and I'm very very sorry. Rest in peace, but Virginia. She was sex trafficked by Jeffrey. Okay. This was in 2000, well, early 2000. It was 2000 up until like 2002 when she was sex trafficked by.
2000 to 2002, 2 years.
Yeah, so it was only 2 years. But within those 2 years, she went through a lot. Okay. So allegedly, she was stolen from Trump's like spa. It's called the Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah.
the Mar-a-Lago spa. And this was when she was around the age of 16.
She was working at a spa at
She was
16.
working at his spa as at Donald Trump's spa at 16 and allegedly was stolen from Trump from his spa and taken like
To the
Epstein took her.
islands.
Mhm.
I kidnapped her.
No, 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 necessarily. But like stole her as in like she was working for me and now you bribed her to work for you now. But it's like to me it doesn't make sense because I'm like you have so many people working for you. It doesn't matter if you have one person to leave. I don't know, but whatever.
Did one of those stolen, persons that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
It seemed like he was at first he was like, maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She was stolen. She was stolen. But it's like, how did he I don't know. Me trying to look at it from the outside point of view. Donald Trump is a big wealthy man. He probably owns a lot of stuff, right? Or is involved in a lot of stuff.
Has a
So
lot of
how
assets.
is he gonna remember someone in particular from a spa or a company that he owns? Like, I don't think that he would just remember somebody just like that. And she didn't even work for there very long. She only worked there for 3 weeks when she left. So it's
I
like,
think that's why he said, I don't know.
but then he was
I
like,
think
yeah, she
so.
stole her.
No, well,
He
like,
first he was like, yeah, I don't know, and then he was like, yeah, 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 yeah. That she was stolen by Epstein. She was working at the
I didn't
spa.
see it that way. I saw it as he was still confused. And if he did, like,
Then why would
somebody
he would
claimed
admit it?
as, huh?
Why would he admit it?
Somebody claimed, well, maybe somebody told him. It's
I
like
don't know.
Virginia was stolen from, you know?
I'm not sure because he
These
at
are the
first
things that I'm talking about. It's like these little things that are misinterpreted. I want hard, for real evidence type deal. You know what I mean?
she writes into her memoir
What?
the whole situation. Okay, we'll get into it, but
About her working there?
she
I'm
works
talking
there.
about her working there and then Trump, like, remembering her.
I'll get into it. There's a lot of information. This is just the beginning, all right?
Mhm.
You just saw one video and to me it looks a little off when he does
And what
state
year did
something,
she
right?
commit suicide again?
This year.
Okay.
This
Oh,
year.
yeah. In March, April.
March or April, right? And so Virginia states this in her memoir, and in the 2015 Giuffre versus Maxwell deposition. So it states this. So it reads, "Okay, how did it come to pass that you were no longer working at Marilago? Marilago is that how you say it? In 2 to 3 weeks." And Virginia states, I was approached by Ghislaine Maxwell. And then the person states, okay, and how long had you been working at the Marilago when you were approached by Ghislaine Maxwell? And then Virginia
Three
states
weeks.
roughly 2 to 3 weeks. So it shows that it shows that Virginia was involved with, you know, what's his name? Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and the situation that happened there, and also that she knew Donald Trump. This is not me proving anything. This is just me
Yeah, what are
stating
you
what it is,
stating?
right? This is just me stating that Virginia, because
What were
we
you
were
trying
gonna
to
talk about
highlight?
Virginia, and her involvement and everything and what went down. So this is just me talking about her and her situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the situation. That's how it all started for her, how she got involved with Epstein. So she was asked by Ghislaine Maxwell. She was approached by Ghislaine Maxwell in, I believe it was like a bookstore or like the library or something. I don't remember, but it was something where Ghislaine Maxwell went up to Virginia and asked her, hey, what are you reading? Because she noticed that she was reading a book. And it was about massages. And so at that time, Virginia wanted to become a masseuse. She was very interested in becoming a masseuse. And Ghislaine Maxwell was like, okay, well, I know somebody that can help you with that. And that I can basically make you a masseuse. And she's like, well, this is like the first book that I've read. Like, I don't know anything of it. And she's like, that's okay. They could train you or we could train you, whatever. So they ended up going. She ends up going with her. And they ended up meeting Jeffrey. And that's when he bribes her to stay. First he has sex with her. And he bribes her to stay, gives her like $200. And she ends up taking it. She ends up leaving the spa and going with Epstein. Okay? So that's how that all started. So in Virginia's memoir, she writes the people that could have been involved. So I want to talk about that because Donald Trump is not the only person or only wealthy person or only powerful person that could have or allegedly is involved in the situation, okay? There's a lot more wealthy, powerful people that could have been involved, okay? Allegedly. So it was her dad first. She ended up escaping from her dad and then ended up bumping into Ron Eppinger, or whatever. He was before Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein came after him, okay? But anyways, Ron Eppinger, he ran a prostitution ring smuggling immigrants for sex work. And he met Virginia Giuffre. So there was this one day where she had ran away from home, and she was basically homeless, and she was 14 years old when she ran away from home. And he ended up picking her up because he was like, hey, like, don't worry, like, come with me, blah, blah, blah. I'll get you work, I'll get you a job, whatever. So she ended up going, and as soon as she left with him, he ended up raping her and kept her hostage, and she stayed with him for 6 months. And he was basically sex trafficking her to whoever he wanted. And she ended up escaping in 1995. And then after that, she bumped into what's his name? Epstein, right? There's another man named Glenn Dubin. He was a hedge fund billionaire. Epstein sex trafficked Virginia to him. Okay, so now we're talking about people that were involved in the sex trafficking, possibly involved in the sex trafficking of Epstein, of the Epstein files. Okay, so Glenn Dubin is a guy that Virginia was sex trafficked to by Epstein, while his wife, Eva, or Eva, whatever, was pregnant and sleeping in the other room. This is what she wrote in her memoir, right? So that's how that situation happened or how it started.
Rich people.
Now there's this man named...
Some rich people. Let me correct that.
Now there's this man named Alan Dershowitz. He was a famous Harvard law professor and a lawyer that multiple times defended Epstein and everything that he did during the beginning of the 2008 plea deal. Okay? So he was defending him left and right. But he was accused by Virginia in her memoir that one day she was sex trafficked to him by Epstein in the Palm Beach mansion. So that's another guy, right? And he was also, well, right now, he's also known as a guy, well, he denies everything, right? And so he's the guy that everybody's like in an interview. They were asking him like, okay, were you involved in these massages? And then he's like, well, yeah, I got a couple of massages from these like girls, but I kept my underwear on, so like nothing happened. That's what he says, right? So now everybody makes a joke about him because he's like, oh, he's the one that kept his underwear on. So it's just, it's weird. But anyways,
Think of Speedos.
yeah, I thought about
That was a fake laugh.
I'm not fake laughing. I said, yeah, me too. Yeah, I was like, me too. I thought about it. So, yeah, so that's that guy. He's one of the wealthy, powerful people that could have been involved in this whole situation. And then there's another guy named, first of all, he's from he's French. So, the way I'm going to pronounce his name is not in a French way, okay? But his name is Jean-Luc Burnel, something like that. Okay, so he's a French modeling scout, which he supplied the underage girls to Epstein throughout this
Because of the modeling
his whole
stuff.
thing. Yes, so that's how he got
I've heard of that.
underage girls to go with Epstein. And so Virginia's of accusing him of rape. Okay? So Virginia's accusing him of rape multiple times. And he was arrested in 2020 on a rape and trafficking charge for like these 5 minors. And then he ended up hanging himself in jail in 2022 before trial.
What's up with all these people killing themselves?
I don't know. And it's the same way. And it was before his trial. It was really weird. But he ended up dying in 2022. There's many, many, many more wealthy, powerful people that could have been involved in this whole sex trafficking
Scandal.
Epstein, scandal, right? But that's the gist of the few people that Virginia stated that was involved and has denied, but nobody is being questioned, nobody is being arrested, nobody is doing anything, right? So they're still out there doing their thing. So Virginia does state that she met Donald Trump a couple of times while she was working at the spa. And the way she stated it, this was in her memoir, she stated that he was very.
You know what? I got a hypothetical situation, right?
You kind of scared
You might
me
not
now.
like it. But how about this? How about she's over here fighting, right? Because she was fighting to get what was done to her out to the public, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if a specific group of people came to her and told her, "Hey, we don't like Donald Trump. Say these things about Donald Trump."
You haven't
And
even heard what I
no,
was
no,
about
no,
to
no.
say.
Just look at this. Look at this. This, and then she accepts the money, right? And she says the things, and then she feels so bad because what happened to her was real, and she's telling lies, and now she feels like she sold her validation, her truth, the things that actually happened, for money, and now she can't live with herself.
But what are you
Imagine
talking
all the
about?
time that she fought for what? For her to get justice for what happened to her.
So you're saying that they probably paid her to say good things about Trump?
Bad things.
Okay, so let me read you what she stated in her memoir about Trump.
And this is after.
It was it was mostly neutral.
Oh,
There was no
okay.
abuse claims. and she only met him one or two times, and never asked her for sex, never touched her.
Because it's so weird. Like, why would she commit suicide? You think it's because of all the things that in the past she can't live with it? How long did she?
Know.
How long did she live without being sex trafficked? How long
Since
was
she
she
left in
free?
2002.
2002 till 2025.
Yeah.
That's like almost 23 years.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, this was her whole childhood.
And then all of this is coming back up right now, so it's like
Yeah.
probably bringing all of it
And
back.
nobody's getting justice for it. I mean, nobody's paying for it, so she's not getting justice. But it's like, you gotta keep in mind, this is a big trauma.
Yeah, definitely.
She went through this at a very young age. At that age, you're supposed to be going to school. You're supposed to be making friends. You're supposed to be hanging out, with your friends. You're supposed to be going outside, doing whatever.
Going to the movies.
Was introduced to sex at a very, very young age, and then ended
How old do you think she was?
Pepe.
Like 12?
It started with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
Which could have been, I don't know how young. It started with her dad. It ended when she was 17 years old. 17, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, when she was with Epstein, she was 16. For 2 years, 17, 18, that's till 18 she left. And she lived her own life. Now, the weird part of her death is the fact that literally like a few days before, she had gotten in a car accident. And supposedly, a school bus had hit her. And then she posted a picture of her bruises on her face, and it just looked very off because nothing else was harmed. Like, she didn't have anything else going on but her face. And then the police stated, there was a report that there was no injuries the day of the accident. So how did all of a sudden she has an injury? And she posted that online. And then a few days later, she passes away because she committed suicide. Ooh. And that's the weird part. And then a few couple of months before, or a year before, something like that, she posted a post on I think it was Twitter. And she stated, she's like, I'm just reaching out, or I'm just putting this out in public to let people know that if anything happens to me, I'm not suicidal. I'm not wanting to kill myself. I'm okay.
You know what that sounds like? That lady that was with that priest. Remember?
Yeah, like she was in danger. She knew that she was in danger. So maybe Virginia knew that she was in danger, or knew that somebody was out there to get her. And nobody knows but her. Why would she put that message out in public? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing with her. So maybe because she knew a lot, but there's things that's in her memoir. There's people that she doesn't state either, because she just state like, okay, there's people that I'm okay with stating, but there's other people that I'm kind of afraid of stating because I don't know what could happen or what they could do to me. So I just rather not state them. So it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. Yeah, it's a lot of things. So it's very traumatic for someone having to go through that. But that's what she stated about Donald Trump. So she didn't say anything bad about him. But the odd thing is that there were emails from Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that says otherwise. Okay, so this email was sent on April 2nd of 2011, and Giuffre states, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there.
Cool.
So this is Giuffre saying it to Ghislaine Maxwell in an email. Yeah. And then Ghislaine states, I have been thinking about that. So I don't know what that means.
Can you read that first part? Yeah?
So Giuffre states, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there.
I think that's read wrong. You're interpreting it wrong.
Why was it?
I think the dog that hasn't barked means the person that hasn't spoken up is Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like the person that hasn't spoken up is Trump. He has seen Virginia something.
Virginia spent hours at my house with him.
With him.
Uh-huh.
With him. Yeah.
That's so bad. Because we obviously know what was Virginia used for. So it's weird that Virginia says one thing in her memoir and then Jeffrey is saying another thing in his emails. Right?
So she's scared to say something.
Because at that time, supposedly, her memoir was released this year.
Yeah, because Trump is somebody to...
And Trump was the president at the time. I don't know when she was writing it, if she was president. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it's just odd. It's just odd that she's stating that nothing happened. I only seen him once or twice and whatever. And then that's why I go back to the interview of him saying, like, how did he know her? Like, how did he know it was her that it was stolen? How did he know?
Wait, this was an email that was sent?
This was
an
email.
Ago?
This was in 2011. This was April 2nd, 2011.
Why didn't they text?
Back then, they didn't have, like... I mean, they did have phones, but
That's kind of such, huh?
I think he would always email everybody, and then in his emails, like he didn't know how. It sounded like he didn't know how to speak English. Like he wasn't typing very well.
Typos.
There was a lot of typos. That was so hard to read. So hard to read.
Okay, I be having typos. What are you trying to say?
Dyslexic. Me too, baby. I have typos too. I can't say nothing. Anyways.
You are, though.
I am, but I'm not. I'm making fun of both of us. So, yeah. So, that's what he stated to Ghislaine Maxwell in one email. So, it looks a little bit different to what she's saying, to what Virginia's saying. There's another email from Epstein to Landon Thomas Jr., which he was a former New York Times reporter. And it states, not everyone coming... Oh, sorry. And it states, Jeffrey... Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen? And then Thomas, I think it's just out of context. It's kind of weird. But anyways, it says, now everyone coming to me thinking I have juicy info on you and Trump because of this. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. That Trump said that. Trump stated that little quote.
What little quote did...
He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. Trump stated that. Okay? And then Thomas states, Thomas is a reporter, the New York Times reporter. So keep that in mind.
I think maybe he's trying to snitch. Donald Trump's trying to snitch on Epstein.
No, this was a time when they were cool. This was back in the days when they were cool.
It still sounds like he's trying to snitch.
But he's snitching on himself too, because he said as much as I do.
No, likes beautiful women as much as I do. I love beautiful women too.
But in this context, it's a little bit different.
Nah, I think he's trying to rat him out.
No, baby.
I think so.
No, baby.
And some are in the younger side. He even puts no doubt about it. And he puts dash. No doubt about it.
Keep this in mind. We already know what was going on the side
Trump
of
is
Epstein's
ratting him
side.
out allegedly.
Let me read it again. Maybe you don't
Okay.
understand. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. So he's implying that he also likes young, beautiful women.
No,
Yes,
I'm not gonna
baby.
give you that one.
Yes, baby.
Nah. It sound like he ratting him out because that's a journalist. Because he said some of them are on the younger side.
He's talking about himself and Jeffrey.
Why would he want to tell a reporter that him and Jeffrey Epstein are with young, beautiful women?
I don't know, baby. There's a lot of questionable things that he says that doesn't make sense
No.
as to why he wants to say it.
I doubt that, baby. I doubt that. I think
Well,
he's
there's
trying to
more
rat him
information,
out.
and I'll show
Okay,
you.
keep
I don't
going.
think
I
that
ain't giving you that one, though.
there's another situation where this person named Matt Williams, so there's another email, and it's sent to Martin G. Weinberg, something like that.
Weinberg.
But it states, "Thank you, Marty. The questions we wanted to reach out to Mr. Epstein for comment are listed below. Feel free to contact me on," and then it's redacted, "after reviewing. Kind regards, Matt." A former employee has told us that Donald Trump attended Mr. Epstein's Palm Beach estate on at least 2 occasions. Does Mr. Epstein recall hosting Donald Trump at that residence? That's one question. On one such occasion, it has been suggested to us that Mr. Epstein and Donald Trump watched young girls try on bikinis while making comments on their bodies. Does Mr. Epstein have any comment? So that was an email that he was sent.
That was
It
sent
was
to
sent
him.
to him,
Okay.
and he had to answer those questions. Epstein has to answer those questions. Those are the questions that they found out, or there's proof or whatever. They're saying that, and that's why they want to confirm with Epstein. This was in 2018. So this was when he was already being convicted for the sex trafficking. So he has denied all this information. So he has denied knowing what happened with the victims. He has denied being with Epstein. He says that he's never been to the Virgin Islands, and he states that he's not
Verbally, right? Not under oath.
verbally, and that he states that he's
Oh.
not in these files, right? When they started releasing everything, they did state that all these files were going to be redacted, but they didn't know why, and why were so many people being taken off these files. Why can't you state who they are, right? But anyways, Donald Trump stated that he has denied invitation, or had denied invitation to the Virgin Islands. Now, the way he kind of words this is a little bit weird to me, because he was like, I didn't have the privilege to go. Like, if it was like a good thing.
Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island.
That sounds weird.
Why continue saying whatever you have to say? Just say, no, I didn't go. No, he had to be
Trump.
oh, I
He likes to
denied the
speak.
invitation. I didn't have the privilege to go.
Oh, you're trying to say like he's trying to prove himself.
Like, he's trying to prove himself, like that he didn't. Well, okay, so I saw the flight logs, and it's true. He didn't go to the Virgin Islands. Not that we know of, right? He ended up going to other islands, but I'm about to get to that. So he is true. He didn't go to the Virgin Islands, obviously, from what we know. Okay, so the flight reports that were released states that he only got onto the private flight or whatever plane 8 times. Okay, and in those 8 times he went to Palm Beach, New Jersey, and DC, Washington DC. So it could be innocent, it could be business related. We don't know, but keep in mind, in Palm Beach, in New Jersey, Epstein had mansions, had houses where he was still doing these sex trafficking. I made sure in the very beginning, and I'm going to make sure again to let you know that Donald Trump is not the only person being talked about in these files. There is a lot of wealthy people that are being talked about in these files. There's a lot, like Prince Andrew is a big one, okay? So I'm just stating, or I'm just talking about Donald Trump in this topic because Donald Trump is a big topic now. He is the president of the United States of America. Now, for him to be involved in this type of situation, like I said in the beginning, it would be crazy. Okay? So that's why I'm talking about him. There is this card going around that was sent from Trump to Epstein that has a lot of people wondering the relationship between them two. Okay? This letter reads, "There must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that, Jeffrey? As a matter of fact, that it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Now, this picture was drawn, allegedly, by Donald Trump. It is a picture of a woman, body shaped like a woman, with like boobs. And then, if you look closely, his signature looks like if it was her pubic area. Okay?
Come
Donald
on,
Trump
baby.
Donald Trump denies writing this letter. He said this letter was not written by me.
It could be fraudulent.
This signature is his signature. He signed this letter, right? And the signature does look like his. Now, there's other examples of how it could be his. He signs every single document. There's a bunch of documents of him signing because he's the president of the United States. He has to sign a lot of documents. How can you deny that that's not your signature?
But what if somebody practiced his signature and just did that signature?
Well, that's what they're fighting. They're fighting that it's not real. Donald Trump had talked about Epstein in a 2002 New York magazine or New York Times, New York
Who
magazine.
talked to who?
Donald Trump had talked about Epstein in a 2002 New York Times magazine,
Oh, okay.
and he was talking good about him. So this was in the email before we've talked about this, but anyways, so he stated that that Jeffrey, he was a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. So we already heard that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he would say, or what he said in the
In the interview.
in 2002 in an interview. Now, what he's saying now is very completely different. Now that he's been, convicted, now everybody knows what he's done,
Accused and
right?
everything. Yeah.
Why they would be so interested? He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going.
First thing that stood out to me, he said it's a bunch of boring stuff.
Yeah, which is not boring stuff. That's they're talking about sex trafficking
Yeah,
underage
people
girls.
actually like suffering through all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then another thing that stood out to me is like, what if his judgment about the person is now completely changed because he found out what he was doing? Nah, but low key, he already kind of knew what he was
But
doing.
that's something that is talked about
Really?
later.
As well?
Is that the fact that he, I mean, what I said before, he's denied the fact that knowing what was going on in the Virgin Islands or
He denied knowing
yeah,
what was going on?
yes. He said he never knew. But there's a lot of emails that stated that he did know, or at least what Epstein would say to other people. It's like he knew that these girls were there. Like he even told Ghislaine Maxwell to stop, allegedly. Like he told her to stop doing what they were doing.
Trump told them?
Yeah, but that was like during his election.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he was telling them to stop doing what he was doing because now
He can get caught?
yeah. But I don't know if that's true.
Allegedly.
It's alleged, but he said that to her. And so it's just kind of weird. And then now he's starting to call like reporters or like journalists names every time they bring up Jeffrey Epstein.
Sir, yeah, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir, quiet.
Why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter.
You know what I see? He was being very defensive because he had the Prince of Arabia. You know, that's the prince that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the prince that said that the United States was, and now because he's in office, the United States actually doing. That's the one that stated that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right there he said that to her because he did that in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He felt disrespected, and he started becoming very, very defensive, and he even started offending.
The
He
thing is
started
that,
punching
and what
back.
I've noticed is that they don't even talk about this, like the question itself. They'll go and say other things. So, like, he started bringing Democrats in. He started bringing how he
Oh
was
yeah,
giving
those are all
Democrats,
explanations.
but that has nothing to do with the question. The question was, why do you have to go through the Congress to release the Epstein files? Why don't you just release it now? And he had this whole rant and couldn't even answer a simple question.
Wait, why is the
It's
fact?
like
Do
you're
you know?
defending. Huh?
Why is that?
Because he
That he
doesn't,
has to go through Congress.
because they don't want to release it. So
He,
yeah, so it was just,
yeah, that boy.
it just seemed very weird. It's just like he can't answer the question anymore. He's starting to get very defensive, and it's like, I mean, people have questions. The people of your United States of America, the United States of America, they have questions about these files, and you can't even answer, and then you answer very defensively. So it makes you look bad, you know. If you had nothing
It
to do
does.
with
It
it,
makes him look really bad.
if you had nothing to do with it, you could have been like, hey, yeah, I got nothing to do with it. I'll release the files. Here they are. So y'all can, like,
Shut up about it.
yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. So technically, it's fine that they don't shut up about it because it's a
Yeah, but like
sex
so it'll
trafficking.
be
But it's like, so they won't
so it'll be
accuse
case
him,
closed. Yeah.
yeah, of doing something if he didn't do it.
You think
But
there's a process? That's why it's not being done.
no, because he even stated before in another interview that he could release any file and release it, and he just has to sign it, and that's it.
Sign for it to go into effect, or
Yes,
signed
time for
and
it to
it
be released.
immediately released.
He says that he has the way, the snap. Like he can just be like, yeah, release it, and everything can be released.
I would have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States.
So it's like, okay, well, you have that power, but you don't have the power to do that with the files. This is weird. This is all weird to me. So I'm saying, like, if he knew that he was innocent, he was fine, then why react this way? Why react so defensively and not, just release it? Do you know what I mean? So there was a lot of, in the emails, it seemed like Epstein was trying to blackmail Trump many times for whatever reason. because there was this conversation that Jeffrey had with Michael Wolff. And Michael Wolff states, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. And then Jeffrey said, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? And then Mike Wolff said, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey's a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime.
Regime.
Oh, regime. Yeah. And this was in 2015. December
That's
16,
weird, huh?
2015.
That's probably when he was running. Yeah.
Yeah. But at that time, Donald Trump and Jeffrey were not friends anymore. So they didn't like each other. But Donald Trump didn't really say anything bad about Jeffrey until he was convicted in 2019. And this was in 2015 when he was running for president.
Why did you put that in there?
This is just like, it's fishy. Why would Epstein want to blackmail Trump? And what would Epstein have on Trump that he could blackmail him on? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like it just seems like he has something under his sleeve that he knows about Trump, and he could use it if he wants to. You know?
That's slimy though.
That's
That Wolf guy.
Yeah, I mean, they all did this together. They worked together. And then Epstein seemed like he had something, like I said, on something on Trump. So there's another email that kind of gives you or it kind of shows that Epstein had something. So there is this person that he's talking to. Her name is Kathy. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's one part that Jeffrey states. He said, you see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, NY biz people have no idea what it means to have your fixers flip. I don't know what the heck he means by that.
Your fixers flip.
I don't know what it means. But he sees, I mean, it just, he has something on Trump. I don't know what it is. He said that he knows how dirty Trump is. Okay,
Yeah,
what does
he
that mean,
is.
you know?
He's I mean, he's a businessman. You have to be very, in a way, like potent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're playing with sharks. You got to be a shark to play in the shark tank. You know what I mean?
You're talking about Jeffrey or you're talking about
No,
Donald?
Trump.
Mm.
Yeah, he has to be slimy and sneaky in a way.
But it's like, and sneaky in what way? And what are we talking about here? Like, what is it so like?
I think they're talking about him and his lawyers, like how they can get out of situations or they can make things happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, even like things like there's weird things that are being brought up about Donald Trump and Bill Clinton that supposedly Epstein has. So there is another email that's from Mark Epstein, which Mark Epstein is what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein's brother. But Mark Epstein emails Jeffrey and ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. And it has came out that Bubba is a nickname for Bill Clinton. Now there is this picture
Of Trump blowing Bubba?
blowing Bubba. What do you think that means?
Like kissing up to him? No, but I don't think that's that.
There is this picture that's been going around that we don't know if it's real or if it's AI.
Let me see.
But there is this one. I don't know. Nobody knows if it's real or where it came from, but it's been coming out. So this
Oh hell no.
there's even there's even a date on it. I don't know if they could, they probably
You
edit
probably
that,
add that, yeah.
But it's been going around. So
That's funny.
I don't know if it came out before or after this email, but yeah. So what's even crazy is that ever since Ghislaine Maxwell has came up and stated like things about Donald Trump and how he's never been or she's never seen him do any inappropriate things, and that she never witnessed him doing anything like inappropriately.
Glenn Maxwell
So
is
she
the
states,
victim,
right?
right?
No, Ghislaine Maxwell is the one that did
all the
was
bad stuff.
was with Epstein.
With Epstein, yeah.
Yeah. So she's in jail, right?
Mm.
She's in jail, and ever since she stated that, ever since that she stated things like, "Oh yeah, I've never witnessed, Donald Trump doing any of this type of stuff or any inappropriate things in these type of settings."
I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
She has gotten such a different treatment. Now, this was literally after this interview.
I get it now.
Now, she's been getting special treatment in prison. So she gets meals that are customized to her liking, and they are delivered to her cell. She personally gets escorted to the exercise area after hours. She gets to enjoy time in staff only areas. For what? Why? And then when she wants to have a private meeting, the warden will personally arrange them by providing snacks and drinks to her guests.
How true is this?
It was released in on the news.
A whistleblower alleges that Ghislaine Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison.
Maxwell's meals have been customized. They are delivered directly to her cell. She is personally escorted to the exercise area after hours and gets to enjoy recreation time in staff-only areas. When she wants private meetings, the warden personally arranges them, providing an assortment of snacks and refreshments for her guests.
And then she also gets puppy time.
She gets to play with pets.
She gets to play with the puppy. This is true.
That's weird.
This is true. This was after her interview of what she said about Trump. Now, why is she getting special treatment when she's a horrible human being that's in prison? When you're in prison, you're not supposed to be feeling like you're having a vacation. You're supposed to be feeling like you're in prison. That's the whole point. You gotta
isn't it like a rehabilitation or something like that?
No, she's in prison.
No, like what is it called when like you in prison you're supposed to learn what you did wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not.
She's not getting punished.
She's not like.
Well, she's not living the life she had, but she's not living a bad life in prison.
There's a lot of jokes that
for her
like
to reflect.
There's a lot of jokes where like, oh yeah, I'm in Ghislaine Maxwell's cell, and it's like this whole mansion, like in like a room in a mansion, and it has like all these chandeliers, and it's just so pretty and all this stuff because she's getting special treatment. So it's like there's a bunch of jokes about it, but it's like, Why would she be getting special treatment for a person that was involved in sex trafficking and is in prison and it's been in prison for a while, and then now she's getting special treatment? It's just weird. But anyways, Trump is not the only person, like I said, that's been brought up in these situations. There's a lot of information that has been coming out, and there's just some odd things that Jeffrey would talk about that's just weird, that just shows his personality and who he is. And so there's this email with Tom Barrick or Bark or whatever, however his name is pronounced.
Tom Bark.
Bark. But he was like, "Hope you're good. Let's catch up." And Jeffrey says, "Send photos of you and child. Make me smile." What does that mean? You and child? In what type of way?
I think you and your children. Like, send me pictures of you and your children.
Send me pictures of you and child. Make
or like
me
your son.
smile.
Your son or something.
Why would he want to see a picture of him and his son?
Yeah, that
To
is
make him
weird.
smile? Did somebody ask you
That
to
sounds
send me
creepy
a
as hell.
Send me a picture
I
of you
wonder
and
if
your
he
daughter.
replied.
Make me smile.
Did he reply? Do you know?
No, this is a Lysol. That was in the conversation. It's really weird. But
Yeah, he left them on red.
I hope he did.
It's not like, what,
Because that's really
dude?
weird. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot more disgusting emails from Epstein or sent to Epstein. But there's this one that is related to they started relating to a sex offender. So they like compare themselves to a sex offender. But there's this person and they're redacted, obviously. But it basically states, "Finally, here's a joke for you. We are both, I believe, politically and not sexually polymorphic, perverse, so there should be no problem with this character. All best. P.S. Please remember to tell me when to take my money out of the market." Okay. I clicked on that link, and this is what came up. It says, "Man used extreme manipulation to trick other men into sex." Basically, this man tricked straight men from Tinder, to have sex with him while they were blindfolded. So he blindfolded the straight men, so they didn't see that they were going to have sex with another man. And he was convicted for that, so he went to jail. He pretended to be this girl named Anna, but obviously he was a man.
Wait,
And
so they didn't see him at all?
No, he blindfolded them.
But like from the jump?
Maybe he was blindfolded. Maybe he was dressed as a woman. Because there's other situations like that. There's another situation like that that happened in China, I believe, where
Oh yeah, you told me that one.
Yeah, where this guy was reeling people in to his room, but there were straight men, and he was a guy, but he was dressed up as a woman. He had a skirt, he had a shirt, but he had a mask on, and he had a wig. He had a mask on, so you can't really see his face, but he had makeup on as well. So it kind of looked like a girl, but it looked questionable. So some of the guys would be like, "Wait, are you a guy?" And they're like, he wouldn't answer the question, and they would be like questioning, and they're like, "What the heck?" But they still went with it. But they were being recorded. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, yeah. Anyways, but they were like comparing themselves in a way. So it's like, what? Like, it was just really weird. But, anyways, this guy was sentenced to 4.5 years. But he ended up serving 2.5 and then got parole in 2021. So he's out. But yeah. Really weird. But there was just so much more emails that I could not read. Like I said, there was about 20,000 documents that I was just like, this is overwhelming. So I kind of just like what I did is I wrote down keywords. So I'll put like, girls or beautiful or beach, Donald, Trump or whatever, and that's how I found like the juicy ones. Yeah, but
That's smart.
we'll talk like about the files. We'll talk about it in part 2, and we'll get into all of that when it comes out on December 19th. So yeah, that's the story of Epstein and everything that went down, and how our president got involved in it. Well, not in, I don't know,
It's
allegedly,
involved.
but is involved in the topic and in the story. So yeah,
It's pretty crazy stuff.
very crazy stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Like, comment. Let me know if I'm being too critical or controversial, or if Teresa has a good point that I didn't realize. Let us know your perspective on the comments down below.
I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Okay,
Deuces.
bye.